Sometimes I like to spend a couple hours in my kitchen and just whip out a few freezer meals to have on hand. This past week, I took it a little bit easier and I made one for dinner and one for the freezer. And let me tell you, I really love doing it this way because I was already in the kitchen making something and I just doubled up on them. Hey guys, my name is Vanessa if you are new, and I love making freezer meals. I've shared several videos on a whole bunch of different kinds of freezer meals and ways to make them, but I have never done it where I'm cooking one and then making the same exact one for my freezer. And I really enjoy doing it this way. It was much easier. I was already in the kitchen like I mentioned, and I just wanted to try this out just in case you do not have several hours to get a whole bunch done. I wanted to share how easy it was to already take the time that you are in the kitchen and prepping something for another time. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys 3 super easy freezer meal recipes that go in your oven. This is actually the start to a little series that we're gonna be doing for the rest of this month. So this week is oven, next week is gonna be crock pot freezer meals, and then the 3rd week is going to be instant pot or pressure cooker freezer meals. And I say we because my really good friend Kiera over at 50 Shades of Mom is going to be collabing with me on all 3 of them. So if you guys are not new to my channel, you know that Kiera and I formed a bond several years ago through YouTube. We met, she lived out of state, and now she lives here in my state, in my city, and we get to hang out. I wish we hung out more, but you know, life still happens, kids, all of that stuff. But I'm really enjoying how close we have become through YouTube, and I really wanted to share her with those of you who may not know who she is. So I'm gonna have her channel linked down below. She does the same exact content that I do. So if you guys love what I share, you're really going to enjoy her. She does Dollar Tree haul, grocery haul every week, cooking videos, vlogs, like I said, everything that I do here. So make sure when you guys are finished watching these freezer meals, go check hers out so you get 3 more. All right, so I already got my hair up. That's what I do every time I come into the kitchen. So let's start getting these freezer meals and dinners going. Okay, first up we are making a Salisbury steak casserole, one for dinner tonight, so you guys can see how it turns out, what it looks like after it's cooked, and then one for our freezer. We are going to start out with getting our mashed potatoes ready. I am using my Instant Pot. You can make your mashed potatoes however you want. This is a 5-pound bag that I've already peeled, rinsed, and then I just cut them into little chunks. Now with the Instant Pot, you do need liquid for it to come to pressure, so I'm just going to use some water. I have about 1 1/4 cup just because this is a lot of potatoes. So you could probably get away with 1 cup, but I'm just being on the safer side. Going to close my lid, set to ceiling, and then I'm going to use my manual button. This button just makes the pot go to high pressure. So whatever button, I know all Instant Pots or pressure cookers are different. Whatever button you need to push to get it to high pressure, that's what you need to do. And then I am going to go up to 6 minutes and then do a quick release and finish out our mashed potatoes. Okay, while my potatoes are cooking, I am going to get my meat ready for these 2 recipes. I am doubling, so I have 1 meal for tonight and 1 for the freezer. So I will have the original recipe linked down below. I am making a couple changes just for preference, what we enjoy. So you only need 1 1/2 pounds if you're just making 1 meal. I need 3 for what I'm doing. So I've got 3 pounds of ground beef in here. And then whenever I am cooking ground beef, I love adding onion powder and garlic powder. So any kind of ground meat, I do the same for ground turkey and ground chicken. Really doesn't matter the recipe that I'm adding it in. I just always add this. I feel like it just takes it up a notch. And I don't measure, I kind of just, I might actually add a little bit more, but I'm trying to do this with 1 hand, so yummy. All right, so I'm also going to be adding a little pepper. Again, I'm not measuring. but the recipe does have an amount in there. I'm just kind of sprinkling on, see what looks good. All right, so you only need 1 can if you're making 1 meal. 2 cans since I am making 1 for my freezer. So I'm going to use this twice to get the right amount in my beef mixture. So 1/3 cup times 2, just to make sure that my measurements are correct for this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the French onion soup in here and then finish browning up and cooking completely my ground beef.
I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you. You know you make me feel so.
Okay, so while everything else is cooking, got my ground beef going, the potatoes, I'm going to add the rest of the French onion. So I've got that and then another can, 1 can of cream of chicken soup if you're just making this 1 meal, 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm gonna be using 4 tablespoons, and then 1 packet of, this is the dry onion soup mix from Lipton. So I'm gonna be using 2. So I'm gonna get all of that into my bowl, and I wanna mix it up until it's not lumpy. So I'm gonna start with a whisk just to get the soups really combined in there, and then I might switch to a spoon later on, we'll see. But I think this whisk is gonna help get the clumps out.
Can't stop thinking about your day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution.
Okay, this is all mixed up. I'm going to add in ketchup, water. I like to call this a W sauce. And then I think the original recipe called for like ground mustard, but I have this fiery honey mustard that I picked up in a gift set from Trader Joe's over the holidays, and I have not tried this yet. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this because I don't want it to be too spicy for my family, but I really want to give this a try because it sounds delicious.
You are the solution, everything I needed. Never thought I'd meet someone like you. You know you are the reason why I feel like I can fly. Thinking about you day and night. I love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down here, you make me smile. You're the solution.
Okay, my potatoes are done. Look how easy they are to mash straight out of the Instant Pot. And I just set this to go while I was making everything else. My ground beef is done as well. So go ahead and make your mashed potatoes how you like them. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter, milk, salt, and pepper, and just finish these up, and then we can assemble our casseroles. Okay guys, the last ingredient that I have not mentioned yet is 1 can of French style green beans. So now we're gonna do like a little assembly line. I'm making 1 casserole to go into the oven so I can show you guys what it looks like completely cooked. We're gonna be having this for dinner tonight with a big side salad. And then I'm going to be making one for my freezer for my family just for another date down the road. So I'm gonna be bringing over everything that I've got over there. So the mashed potatoes, the ground beef, and the soup mixture, and we're going to get it all layered up in our dishes.
You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are the solution.
definitely have put in more than what the recipe originally called for, but who doesn't love mashed potatoes? So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the rest of it and spread it as best as I can. But oh my gosh, I'm sure everybody who has shared a cooking recipe at one point has said how real we wish smell-o-vision was, because this really does smell so good. Okay, this one I am going to put into my oven that I preheated to 350 degrees, and it only needs to bake for 20 minutes because everything is pretty much all cooked, the main components. So we're really just heating it up and getting all the flavors melded together. And this one I'm going to cover with some foil. And then this little container that I picked up did come with a lid. So I'm gonna use my Sharpie and write the directions and what it is. That way when I see it in my freezer, I know exactly the cook time and what it is. So it's not like this unknown casserole that's hanging out in my freezer. Okay, this one is ready for the freezer. So since this is going to be frozen, it's gonna need longer than 20 minutes. So 45 minutes, same temp though, 350 degrees. I wrote what it was. I did double foil mine just because I do not have plans to eat this month. We're gonna be eating this maybe sometime in April or May, but this will be good for up to 6 months. I did tape the sides just because I double foiled it. The top just kind of sits on it, but that is completely fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the freezer, and then I will show you guys what the one that is cooking looks like when it's all ready. Okay, I took a tiny little bite of everything, and this is definitely a keeper. I'm glad I already have another one prepped in the freezer. But now we are going to eat. I figured I would show you guys. We're just gonna have a salad with a few different fixings. Everybody can kind of pick and choose what they want, but yum. You definitely have to try this if you guys like Salisbury steak. Okay, my setup for tonight's dinner that I'm gonna be making one casserole for the oven to cook for tonight. Then I'm going to make another one for my freezer for another night. So tonight's gonna be a chicken bacon ranch casserole, and I'm just gonna show you guys what one casserole needs, and then obviously I'm doubling it. So I have 3 chicken breasts in here that I cooked. I actually used my Instant Pot. I seared them. I put some garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. Then I cooked them in the Instant Pot for about 6 minutes. So I didn't share any of that. I'm kind of in a rush tonight. So I don't have a bowl large enough to mix both up at the same time, so I am gonna be mixing them up individually. So like I said, I've got 3 chicken breasts in here. I am going to shred them. You could cut them into small little pieces if you wanted to, but I really want the chicken to be mixed really good in this casserole. So I'm gonna use 3 of those. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of ranch mix. I have a homemade mix, but whatever kind you have, 2 packets if you want. I really like a lot of ranch. So I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons. I'm going to use this entire package of real bacon pieces. This is a 2.5 ounce package. And then I'm also going to add in 16 ounces of sour cream. And then you could get 2 cans of cream of chicken or just 1 15-ounce can. But since I knew I was gonna be doubling this recipe, it was cheaper for me to just get the family size. So it's not quite 30 ounces, but that's okay. It's still gonna work perfectly. So I'm just gonna use half of this in the first one, and then I'll use the other half in the next one. Then over here behind me, I have some shredded cheddar cheese here. I'm going to use 2 cups for one recipe. And then I'm going to add in this 2-pound bag of tater tots. So let's go ahead and get our chicken shredded, everything mixed together, and we will put it into our dish.
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now.
Okay guys, first one done, and I'm actually going to be using a disposable pan twice because I completely forgot to start the dishwasher last night and I haven't done dishes yet today. So I only have one 9x13 and it's still dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in my 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna whip up the one for my freezer. Okay, my casserole for the freezer is ready. You do not need to use a lid. You could just have foil in it, but my freezers are pretty packed. So this is going to be on top of stuff. There's gonna be something on top of this, and I just know that this is gonna help it out a little bit, give it a little bit more of a safety net for puncturing the foil. So that's the reason why I double layer it, and I use this. It just helps with freezer burn and all of that. Temperature is the same in the oven, 350 degrees. It is gonna be frozen when you put it in the oven, so I put 60 minutes and then of course what it is so I don't forget. So this one is going in my freezer, and I will show you guys the one that is in my oven, what that looks like when it's all cooked. All right guys, I took a bite out of there, and I definitely love putting extra ranch in there. So I will have this one in the description box, but so yummy. And I also added a little bit of extra cheese on the top. So yum. I know my kids are gonna love this one. You got all the flavors of the chicken, the bacon, the ranch, with like the creaminess of the cream cheese. Oh, yum. All right, I'm gonna let it cool off a little bit though, because that was super hot. Even my dogs smell it, and they're here like, give me, give me, give me. So we're gonna let this cool off, and then we are going to eat it with our leftover salad from last night that you guys saw. So yeah, I'm excited to have this one in the freezer for an upcoming meal as well. Okay, last but certainly not least, this is going to be the simplest one in my opinion. So I've already kind of sorted it out, but this is it. These are the only ingredients that you will need. So feel free to add an extra side if you want. We're gonna have ours with broccoli, but I've got a pork tenderloin here. One of them I'm going to be prepping for the freezer. The other one I'm gonna be cooking tonight. And then to go with that, I have a sweet potato, a pear, and an apple. And then again, I've got it double. And then the spices and seasonings, I'm going to be using salt and pepper, any kind of Italian seasoning. I have this one that I got. It came in the same pack as that mustard one. So this one is an Italian style sofrito. Sofrito, I think is how you say that possibly. So just an Italian style seasoning. Some minced garlic, and this is olive oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my produce. So I'm just going to cut these up. I'm not going to peel the pear or the apple. I'm gonna leave the skin on. I am gonna peel the sweet potato though. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of that done, and then I'll show you guys how we're gonna combine it all and how we're going to cook it. All right, so they are completely ready, and I just wanted to show you guys how easy it was. So I chopped up the produce, and then with all the seasonings, I just drizzled them all on top of the pork loin. So this one just needs to be covered with foil, the lid on, labeled, all of that good stuff. And then this one I am putting into the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. So I will show you guys how this looks when it is all cooked. But again, just like the other two recipes, I will have this one linked in the description box so you guys can check it out and get all the measurements. But I always just kind of do my own thing for the most part. So I did not measure anything. I just drizzled and poured and did what I thought looked good. So let me go ahead and get this in and we shall see how it turns out. Okay, so I just took it out of the oven. It smells delicious. It does not look delicious though. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to eat this and I'll let you guys know what we thought of it. All right, so we just finished this one. I pulled the other two out and I wanted to show you guys how my kids voted. So this chicken bacon ranch was by far their favorite. They loved it. They ate everything I put on their plate. So definitely a big thumbs up, especially my daughter Rose. She is like the pickiest out of all of us here in the house. Like she is a basic girl. She likes her basic foods and I wanted to, and she loves all of this stuff. She likes ranch, she likes chicken, she likes bacon, tater tots, cheese, but I was a little concerned with it being in a casserole form, but she loved it. So I am super excited to have another one in the freezer that I can pull out at a later date and I know she's gonna love it. Then the Salisbury steak casserole, we all enjoyed. Now my son Bryce and Rose only ate a little bit of this and they just ate a lot of salad. But they loved the taste of it. It was just it being in a casserole form. That's why I love trying new things, taking some tastes and items that I know my kids love and mixing them up differently just to see how they react to it. So this one was still good. I'm glad I have another one for the freezer, but I know that when I make this, they're not gonna eat a ton of it. So I need to make sure that I have a good side as well. And that's why I love sharing these recipes with y'all, because even though I did deviate from the original recipe to make it more family friendly for my family, that's what you've got to do with any recipe, is just make sure you're doing what you think that your kids are going to enjoy. I'm really excited that we tried this one out because I myself really enjoyed it and so did my husband and my daughter Pearl. Like us three loved it. So that was a good one. Okay, so as far as the pork, I enjoyed it. It was a little dry, like my kids like some kind of gravy or something. So I think next time I won't just do like a broccoli side, I'll do something different so the kids can use the meat and the gravy and kind of mix it up if they want. But I enjoyed the seasonings, like the Italian seasoning with the apple pear and sweet potato. That was so good, but definitely this was not my kids' favorite. We all ate it. I enjoyed all three of them, but I just wanted to let you guys know that based on my kids, they wanted something a little else, something else with this. It was too plain for them, but I myself enjoyed it. If you are going on like a healthier route, you got a lot of natural sugar in the produce in this one, but as far as like your mashed potatoes, tater tots, gravies, canned items, there's none of that in this. So I definitely wanted to share that with y'all as well. All right, so I am super excited to have these three freezer meals ready to go for another date. And I really enjoyed being able to cook them also and letting you guys know what we thought of them. Like seriously, that chicken bacon ranch, so good. I think the recipe, it calls it like cracked out chicken or something like that, but it's chicken bacon ranch. I definitely make it very, very simple when I am labeling them so I know exactly what it is and what's in it. So you guys make sure you do what is best for your family. I also totally forgot to date the first two, and then I put the date on the last one. So I'm gonna go back. That's why I pulled the other two out of my freezer. I'm going to write the date on there, even though we are pretty good about eating our freezer meals before they need to be tossed. But freezer meals are good anywhere from like 3 to 6 months. It really just depends on what exactly is in it and the amount of freezer burn, like how well you wrap it up and all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do not forget to check out Kiera's video so you guys can get 3 more for your arsenal. I will have her channel linked down below. If you are new to her channel, I would love for you guys to leave her a sweet comment letting her know that I sent you with a lemon emoji, and let her know where you're coming from so she knows like what state you're in and where you're watching from. We always enjoy seeing where you guys are from because it just blows my mind, the contacts and friends that we make that are nowhere even near us, like overseas. It's just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy being on this platform and connecting with y'all in all sorts of ways. So give this video a big thumbs up if you are excited for the next 2 videos in this series. Subscribe if you are new. I have a lot of content coming, and always going to share just my stay-at-home mom life. Work from home, hang out with me, do all the things. So subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys tomorrow. This is going up on a Friday, so tomorrow I'm actually sharing a grocery haul. So I will see you guys then. Bye.